who's been invited to testify, and that is Mr. Houchins.
Absolutely. Members, we wanted to hear from the parent who's been coming each and every meeting, talking to us, and start off the meeting with that parent testimony first, and then we'll get into all the other invited work session folks. So Randy, we've got a long day, so you can go ahead and get started while they're handing out your handouts. And you'll hear the bell, the first bell that you're going to hear is going to be 30 seconds before the end of the 3 minutes. Okay. So that way you can start wrapping up right
It's
then.
short.
Yeah.
We're not going to work any problems, so we should be good.
No, not working problems today. Okay, sounds great.
I want to thank the board for having this math work session and allowing me to speak today. My name is Randy Houchins, a parent of 2 middle school children. I've been coming before you at every opportunity for the last 2 years to discuss the issues I and many parents and students across Texas have seen firsthand in mathematics education. There is a bogus dichotomy in mathematics education between teaching conceptual understanding or knowledge and skills. Knowledge and skills should always be taught with the inclusion of conceptual understanding. Facts versus higher order thinking is another example of a false choice that we often encounter these days in education. Thinking of any sort, high or low, could not exist outside of content knowledge. There has been a lot of discussion and blame placed on the process standards in the TEKS, but this is not the sole blame for the confusion in the classroom or on the assessments. At first, I also blamed these process standards created by English professor Phil Darrow for all the confusion, but I kept researching the issue and I found problems within the content standards. The process standards force multiple methods with the use of the word including and the use of and instead of or, but the content standards also call out specific methods to be used in solving problems. An example of this is when the content standard calls for the use of objects and pictorial models, including number lines, or using symbols, words, objects, and pictorial models. Or like in the 3rd grade TEK 3.4K, using strategies based on objects, pictorial models, including arrays, area models, and equal groups, properties of operations, or recall of facts. This one TEK requires teaching 7 different methods for multiplying and dividing. And I'll put the wording for the TEK right here so you can see that. I have included examples in my handout today that show questions from the 2015 and 2016 Math STAR assessments for grades 3 through 8 that are testing processes or specific methods instead of content knowledge and skills. What is lost when using reform math and having these multiple methods called up in the content standards and thus reflected in the STAR assessments is the fact that it takes much longer to teach all of the methods. Critical concepts get pushed out to older grades and students miss out on the important part of math instruction, practice using the most efficient method. Students that are taught with reform math tend to be about 2 years behind those students taught with more traditional approaches to math by the time they are in or exiting high school. It puts calculus out of reach of most students in high school. Dr. Milgram stated in an interview on 9 September 2015, children exposed to this type of reform math education for 4 or more years never recover. The reformers in the education community view a lack of conceptual understanding as what is wrong with math education today.
Okay, finish up that last sentence.
That is not what is wrong with math education today. Students possessing a rote understanding of process or procedures they cannot perform is a far greater problem. The TEKS should not force methodology. It is my hope that we can remove the reform math methodology from the TEKS and let the teachers know that teaching every method to all students is no longer required. A teacher should be able to decide what method each student understands to teach a concept. Once the concept is understood and used to demonstrate the most efficient method for solving the problems, the student should not have to demonstrate knowledge of a method. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Houchins? Thank you, Mr. Houchins.